And we're back live. Mike here with Jeff again, doing another off-season podcast of not really much going on, but still good amount to talk about. We're moving on to Vegas later in the podcast as a team just to do a deep dive on. Something we're going to kind of keep bringing up throughout the off-season, just going through each team. And I think they might be the last team in the Pacific we have to do.
I want to
might be Calgary after them, if I'm not mistaken. But
I think we still have Calgary. Hold on. Now I want to get to the
and maybe Edmonton, unless we did them last time. I think.
Let's see here, because once this actually loads, we did because remember we did Anaheim, Vancouver, L.A.
Yes.
San Jose. I think we have Calgary, Arizona, and Edmonton still.
We just did Arizona.
We did do Arizona because we talked about Kessel.
Yeah, we must have.
So after Vegas, we got Calgary and Edmonton.
Okay, so we got two more after this.
Woo!
One.
That's
so
not too bad.
We figured that out. But we also have some odds kind of came out a little earlier today of who would take the East, and we're gonna give our opinions on that.
Mm-hmm.
And the Flyers made us resigning a couple days ago, but we'll give our thoughts on that and kind of thinking for both TK and Provorov and other RFAs if we get to it. But I think we're just going to get right into this is kind of what I wanted to start off with.
Mm-hmm.
But Jordan Binnington, obviously the Blues netminder, he signed the other day, which to me was actually a surprise for the deal he got. 2 years, $8.8 million, so 4.4 per year, which isn't bad, but I'm sure a lot of people thought he was going to get more, like a max contract, not really a short deal like this, a bridge deal. But I think for him, 26, and for the Blues' sake, I think it makes sense for them, just because he was only there for half the season. So these next 2 years, I think we'll have a better idea of what they'd get in Binnington.
Right.
And if he plays just as well as he has, which who knows, then he'll then get the money or more money.
Yeah.
And that longer-term deal. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I'm not surprised that it's a bridge deal like this.
Mm-hmm. This just happened. Dale Cousins signed.
Yeah. Yeah, I told you that before the podcast.
Yeah, I just saw it. Sorry.
Anyway, yeah, no, I think it's smart to get a bridge deal in because he was
the backup.
literally
in
this
the
is his
AHL
first year.
Yeah.
In the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, he did well.
Yeah.
It was finalist for the Calder Trophy and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, as great as he played, you don't give him a max contract right away.
For the little bit you saw.
Exactly. Now, I'm not saying he's bad by any means. What I'm saying is let him prove his worth even more. This 2-year deal is a perfect bridge deal for him. By the end of the 2 years, we'll see what Jordan Binnington is very much like. Not only that, but the way I see it for any type of person in hockey, whether you're a player, a coach, or a GM, I think the most important years in your careers are your first year and your third year. The first year, it's your rookie. It's your first year. It's your rookie year. If you have a great year, the second year you gotta go, okay, I gotta either back it up and show why I'm good, and I had a good year. Let's have a good year.
Yeah.
But if you have a bad year,
you don't want.
Then your second year you have to get a rebound year.
You don't want another situation like Rick DiPietro.
No.
15 years, $67.5 million.
No,
4.5 per year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we all saw how that kind of ended up there. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but for your third year though, it's the most important because let's say if you do have a bad year for your second year, what you could do is say, hey, I know I had a bad year last year, but this is my rebound year, and this is the most important year. It kind of gives a sneak preview of what the career could look like.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my thoughts though.
Yeah.
I think it's a great bridge deal for
I
Jordan
think for
Bennington
one,
and the
I
Blues.
think 2 would be good because one, in year 1, you can be like, okay, this is his first full year. If he does okay, then we'll see. Okay, maybe it's just a little down year. Maybe he'll pick it up next year, and then
Exactly.
yeah, I like the move. I honestly thought he was gonna get a bigger deal.
Yeah, and you could definitely argue that, but I think Doug Armstrong has the perfect deal here for Jordan Bennington.
Yeah, they have 7.1 mil in
Yes.
cap for the Blues.
Andre Burakovsky, he has signed a 1-year, $3.25
Mhm.
mil contract with the Colorado Avalanche. Remember, he came to the Avs in a trade with the Capitals within the last few weeks, and today, just moments ago, the Avalanche has come to agreement with Burakovsky, who I believe was a
Yes.
RFA. So
Also, Jack Hughes signed his entry
Yes.
contract. I think it was a while ago, but I'm pretty sure Cabo Caco also did too.
yes, and also as we mentioned, Dylan Cousins of the Sabres signed his contract, and then although he's not a rookie, but forward Sonny Milano for the Blue Jackets just accepted the Columbus's qualifying offer,
Mm-hmm.
so he'll be back for I think it's 1 or 2 years.
And also Dzingel went to Carolina.
Yes, that I thought that was big.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that say to you?
It was for first I just want to. It was for 2 years,
Yeah.
6.75 mil, so 3.37 per year. So not bad, and I honestly think it was a pretty good move for the Hurricanes.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was great. Yeah.
Because for me on paper, I think that's kind of the one thing that's also goaltending, but I think they need to do better offensively, but I think that helps depth-wise and everything, too, for getting to singles. So another... I think Carolina will be a sneaky team this year. So
Yeah. I also think that
and I'm assuming they haven't done
Yeah.
it yet, but I'm assuming they're just gonna they're gonna bring back Justin Williams. I'm assuming, unless he retires.
well, right. That's what my question was. Is I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if they would try to bring him back still
I'm
or
just-
what.
I mean, the year he had last year, I feel like he means a lot to this team. I think he would want to bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was their captain too last year, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, those are kind of the recent signings and
Mhm.
everything. And you're going to probably see more of that too, as guys from the draft signing their entry-level contracts. Even though Jalen Cousins, I'm not sure if he's going to be on the Sabres right away or not.
I don't know. Well,
I know Kako and Hughes will be,
Yes.
but I'm not sure about Cousins.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Dylan Cousins. The other thing for me for Cousins is that
And I'm not sure about Kirby Doc. He could, but I don't know if he'll be there for
Chicago.
Chicago.
Honestly, it can't hurt them. I really think it would be a good idea
Yeah,
to get.
But I'm assuming he'd be a fourth line because I'm assuming they put Strome third line center.
I mean, I'd be okay with that. Just get him some experience in the NHL. Not only
Yeah.
that, but you need some offense, some extra offense here and there.
Right.
You're gonna need all the help you can get for Chicago because they're certainly been struggling.
That was another one too. Kirby Doc also signed.
Oh, he did sign it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's right. I looked on their cap friendly page and he was there.
Oh, there you go.
Right there.
And then now for the Flyers.
It's weird though. It shouldn't feel weird, but it's weird to see that someone, because I'm looking at his thing, he was born in 2001.
Ugh,
How weird is that?
I don't like that. I really don't like that.
You're 18 when you're born. He was born January 12th, but you're 18 in 21 or
Yikes.
2001. Isn't that weird to think about?
I don't like that.
Us being 23, but
We are old.
yeah.
I don't like that.
There's
at
going to
all.
be a guy playing in the NHL who is born in 2001. How weird is that?
I don't want to think about it anymore.
But that also is weird because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I know we're kind of, or I've only been focusing really in the past like couple years or whatever of the NHL and everything. But to me, it seems like obviously we're getting younger, but it seems like the young guys are here sooner than they were in the past.
Right. No, I agree.
Like I feel like going back to like even Jeff Carter or Mike Richards, they took a little time before they got up. Even Giroux.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like,
and now you're seeing Hughes and guys like that who are gonna be on the team right now.
Yeah. Absolutely. It is weird to think about, and that kind of just shows how much the game has changed.
Yeah.
And that's only been within the last 10, 15
shows what
years.
The star talent that's coming in is.
And that's it, yeah. It's wild.
Because the past couple of drafts, it seems like at least the first 2 picks are immediately in.
Yeah.
Obviously, the 2015 is obviously the fluke year where, as in, like, everyone in that draft class was so great that they were pretty much, even not even Provorov, he was the next year, actually.
No, Provorov, he was 2015 draft.
He was 2015, but he didn't play that year.
Oh, right. And same thing with connecting.
Yeah. Even Patrick was first year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, I'm curious, though, just kind of going back.
What?
Looking at the last, let's see here. So
you're looking at the past couple of drafts?
Well, yeah, I'm looking at that, but the last, because I can't remember so Hughes is going to be in the NHL.
Yes.
Dahlin played. Shear played in his first year. Matthews and McDavid. Did Aaron Ekblad play in his first year?
I believe so.
There's also Nathan McKinnon. I know Neil Yakupov did. There's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Taylor Hall, John Tavares. Stamkos I know did. Kane probably did. Crosby and Ovechkin definitely did.
When was Ekblad's draft year?
Ekblad 2014.
Yeah. He played in 81 games in 2014, put up 39 points.
There you go.
His career high.
There you go. Here's an interesting one. Back in 2006, Eric Johnson went first overall to the Blues. Oof. They could have had Jonathan Tate, Nick Backstrom, or Phil Kessel first overall, but they chose Johnson.
Yeah.
But, that the defense was their need at the time, but
yeah.
Oh well.
And obviously with a lot of these guys, you can't really say how they'll be. What was his draft year?
Johnson 06. That was
he was the following year. 07, 08.
For who?
Johnson to make his
debut.
He's still playing in Columbus or Colorado, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm sure, he is the one that you're kind of forget about.
Mm-hmm.
If you're thinking first overall picks.
Yeah. There are some others in the past that are very forgetful besides him.
Pietro.
Also Patrick Stefan.
Yeah.
Oof.
He wasn't first overall, but I don't want to put him in there, but I don't know what's going to happen with Morin.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't first overall, but he was still first round.
Yeah.
So that's obviously a little more.
It's still concerning just because.
But he's also had injury issues, so you have
right.
To put
so
that
you can't necessarily blame him for
issues
that.
Are so bad and everything that you're like, oof.
I don't know. We'll see what happens, but
I don't know.
Well, because we can kind of get in the Flyers for a little bit right now because we also have talk about contract. Yeah. But quickly regarding Morin and everything in the defense.
That's the one thing too, because Mitch keeps bringing this up. Which I'm starting to believe. If I feel like they might move a D because
they have
8 defensemen.
They do. It's Provorov, Sanheim, Gostisbehere,
Niskanen,
Braun,
Haig,
Morin,
Myers,
and
if
Myers.
You haven't said him. Myers is gonna be in the lineup, I have to believe, because he was the one guy Fletcher has constantly kind of mentioned by name. And if you do trade, I'm assuming the guys you probably possibly trade is, I'll still
Haig.
put Ghost out there just 'cause maybe for a third line winger. Haig, and I don't even think Morin has that much value, but I could see Mitchell even sees it too, that if he goes through waivers, the team might claim him, like Mark Alt was a couple years ago
Yeah.
with Colorado. But I don't know if teams would trade for Morin. And I think Haig also, out of those two, have more value, and you can get a little more back for him. But
Right.
I think with that, it'd probably just be maybe a pick or two, maybe a depth prospect. I don't know.
It's a pretty good guess, honestly.
Because I don't see them keeping 8 defensemen.
No, definitely not. They'll keep 7 on the roster because obviously a
Yeah.
healthy scratch. But
You want that other spot for a forward. I don't know if you want 2 defensemen there. But the Flyers did sign Scott Laughton.
yes.
He filed for arbitration, but it never really got to that point. They got a deal which was for 2 years, $4.6 million, which is
2.3 AAV.
and more than I was actually comparing it to Raffles' contract, but
Yeah.
because that's who I figured he was going to get a similar.
Right.
He got it in the way that he got the same amount of years, but he just got more just because
Yeah.
he's more.
He's definitely deserving of this contract.
Universally used. You could use them with Lawton,
Right. And then for Lots,
which is great for the Flyers too.
yeah, and absolutely it gives them more depth and everything still. And he set a career high in goals, assists, and points. 12 goals, 20 assists for 32 points, appearing in
like
all
that
82.
Now it's almost definitely that him and Raffle are going to be together.
Yeah.
Which I think both of them play the best when they're with each other.
Yeah, for sure.
And whether it's Pitlick or whoever's on the other side, maybe in Rupstov, I don't know. Or Abe Kubel, whoever wins that spot out of camp, I think any one of them could do well with that line. Because I think at least fourth line wise, I said wine.
I like wine.
I think they're better, and they don't have that anchor that they had the past couple of years, like a Weiss or even
Laterra.
Labimov,
Yep.
if you want to put him in there too.
Yeah. Now, after the signing, the Flyers have $13.4 million cap space. They will use basically the rest of that to sign both Travis Konechny and Ivan Provorov.
Yes.
So how much of that do you think both those guys will eat up combined? 13.4 mil. I'm thinking, honestly, at least 10 to 11 mil.
Yeah.
At least.
Something like that. But Mitch said, I don't know where he saw this or whatever, but he saw a thing where there might be this thing this year with a bunch of RFAs where they might take a little longer to sign them, or it could even take into the season to get done.
I did hear that as well.
And that's not even like, and the deadline's what, like November?
Something like that.
30th or something like that. Somewhere like late November, because I just remember from Nylander last year with the Maple Leafs. But Nylander didn't play too terribly great because he didn't obviously have training camp or anything. So I think teams would be more willing to let that deadline pass. But for the Flyers' sake, they can't afford to have Provorov miss any games.
No, you can't have a William Nylander situation.
No, and it's just he's too valuable for the defense. If he's not there, your defense is all
exactly.
Even with the moves you made, even though they're not grand or anything, and the guys you do have, the younger guys in Sanheim and Myers and everything, and even Ghost, I'll put him in there because he's still good, even though he's been iffy. It's still not as great as if you have Provorov in there, because you don't have that number one shutdown defenseman anymore.
Yeah.
You have kind of a former one in Niskanen, but he can't take on that responsibility anymore at 32. Neither can Braun. So I'd like to see it done within a month or so. So that's just me.
I would hope.
Just so you don't have this lingering over your head during training camp or anything. Yeah. I know training camp isn't until like September or whatever, but still, a month from now it's August 15th. So.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like for Fletcher and everyone and Vigneault's first year here, I feel like he want nothing hanging over him. You want to see what this roster is.
At its absolute best.
Yes.
That's why I think with Vigneault here now, I think it's going to provide a big spark for this team.
And I keep changing because we'll get to this in a little bit, the odds that came out.
Yeah.
I don't know when they came out, but Sam Carchidi tweeted it out today.
It was NHL odds to win the East per Bet Online.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a little bit, but I keep changing how I feel that Metro at least is going to shape out.
It's so tough to say. It really is.
But once you kind of do a deeper dive, you could kind of make an argument for kind of any of these teams, just because it's all just a giant question mark.
Yeah.
But I think with Vigneault, I think he's the coach because I think the Flyers lost something. After they lost, I know they had Berube here. He did win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Whatever. And Hackstall wasn't the best either. But now you finally do have your NHL coach back.
You do.
You lost in Laviolette.
Yes.
I feel like that was a bigger loss than it actually was for the Flyers. Even though that year they still made the playoffs and they still haven't made the past the first round since, but still, I feel like now that you have a Vigneault type back and your team is not the greatest speed, but a good amount of speed, I think that will help you. And you don't have that linger question at goaltender anymore.
Right. Exactly. Because you have Elliott backing up, which
it's
solid.
It's solid, but that also means don't be surprised if Lyon's back.
Yeah.
Because Elliott, at least the past couple seasons, has had injury problems.
Mm-hmm.
He will be playing less, but more than other backups would be playing regularly. And let's not hope there's 8 goalies again.
Yeah. That was brutal.
Because if you do, you might see Sandstrom up.
You really might.
That's another thing too, is how great, even if like Frost or whatever is on the Flyers or whatever, how great the Phantoms could be this upcoming year.
Yeah. Especially, I think Joel Farabee could be on the Phantoms this year.
I think he will be.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he's thinking about college, but I think he's.
Well, no, it's either because he signed his contract. It's either Phantoms or Flyers, and that's it.
Oh, right. So he's definitely going to be Flyers. Again,
right.
All this depends on how camp goes.
Right. There's big question marks on camp and everything. And
keep forgetting Alba Kubel hasn't signed yet either.
Shit, that's right.
But yeah, because you could have Frosty, Rupstov, back again, and even though he only played like a year last year, and even in that little time for development camp this past year, he's looked pretty good. So, which is why I wouldn't also be surprised if they put him on the 4th line. Yeah, just because he could start out his career. Mitch even kind of pointed this out too. Is he could be like how Couturier started his career, being a little more defensive, but
right, and that's kind of also how Lawton's career began.
Yeah,
kind
but
of more
even
defensive.
if you put Rupstov on that 4th line, I don't know if it's an NHL thing or if it was just kind of Hackstall or whoever doing the 2-line center thing. And the Flyers do have a bunch of centers. I think it does help having 2 centers.
It does because definitely for a few reasons. Like
also,
one,
because every game there's at least 5 or 6 times where a guy's tossed.
Exactly. And that's why it's so beneficial to have more than one center on a line because, you can just, a center gets kicked out of the faceoff, no problem, just send that guy in. Now, if that guy gets tossed too, well, then you're,
well, then you get a penalty.
Oh, shoot, that's right. I hate that rule, by the way.
That doesn't happen much, but
No,
yeah.
I know, but I think it's absolutely ridiculous the fact that they even have that as a rule.
Yeah.
But
And I think if you put Rupstoff on a line
Yeah.
with Raffle and Laughton, I think that's a pretty
that's
solid fourth line.
very solid fourth line. I'd be very content with it because that's basically. So you know how back in the day where basically, I don't know who
Good
came up
line?
with this term, but they said that your third line was your checking line.
Yeah.
That would be the fourth line if your line consists of Scott Laughton, Michael Raffle, and Garmin
Right.
Rupstoff.
The checking line was your third line, and the fourth line was kind of your good line.
Exactly, yeah.
Which your checking line kind of just moved down to your fourth line.
Yeah, which is
essentially.
fine.
Which is fine. And the only thing that would really be tasked to do, which they've done pretty well in the past couple seasons, at least the Flyers' fourth line, is forechecking.
Mm-hmm.
They've done pretty well at that. So
And like you said earlier, Laughton and Raffle together, they're money. And they're
you saw it all.
Yeah.
Even though the
They're
PK
sharp.
has struggled the past couple seasons, they've kind of been the lone bright spots on it.
right. Excuse me.
I am interested to see how this season goes, though.
Yeah, me too.
And even if it is Pitlick, he did put up a good amount of points. I think 20 points last year he threw up for Tyler Pitlick, which isn't terrible for a bottom sixer. But again, that's one thing I actually am more interested in is how camp goes this year.
Yeah,
Because
this is the most
unless
exciting.
there's a trade or whatever, there's 2 spots technically open.
I think there is
The third line winger and then the fourth
right.
line winger spot. But unless Pitlick takes a third or fourth, but I don't know. There's at least 1 or 2 spots open. So however the battle goes during training camp will be interesting, I think. Because I can't throw out Frost or Ratcliffe or Abe Kubel. And even some of the minor league guys they signed this offseason possibly being there.
Right.
Here's another thing, too. The Flyers do have 2 goalies actually coming over because they have Witmer&Quake coming over, too, for the Phantoms. He might just be on the Reading Royals.
For Sandstrom?
No, Witmer&Quake.
Oh, I got you now.
Because he's coming over, too.
I think he'll be on the Phantom. Oh, sorry, Royals. Because, I mean, it's possible he'll be on the Phantoms, but you already have Lyon.
And
You're going to have
Sandstrom.
Sandstrom. The only reason I see him...
And I don't... Because they could also do this and loan him to another team. Because teams have done that in the past.
Yeah.
And he's still under yours, but he is over
Yeah.
there. But I don't know how they'd feel about him because you're kind of growing with these guys, so I don't know how they'd feel being over there.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It definitely is.
And
It's a weird
injuries
situation.
are going to happen. And if Lyon does come up because Elliott's hurt at some point, then...
Could be a double call-up. Where have Lyon up here
and
in
then
the
you
NHL.
have Witmer&Quake with Sandstrom. For
Yeah,
the,
and I'd be content with that.
Yeah, Phantoms. Which, for the Flyers' sake, hey, you have 3 pretty solid goalies, prospect-wise.
And this is probably the first time in a long time.
I think Witmer&Quake and Sandstrom will probably just be backups.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Obviously, because Hart's obviously going to be a starter.
Yeah, but still, I would put it this way. Sandstrom, I'm very excited about, and...
Here's the other thing. Witmer&Quake and Hart are the same age.
Oh, my gosh.
Sandstrom's the oldest at 22. Wow. He's younger than us.
Yeah. Stop reminding me about these things.
Never.
Where was it? This might take me a while to find, but...
Hey, Kasha's going to come over, too. Strome will probably come over.
You said Kasha?
Yeah, David.
Well, yeah, but he's
case.
been in the Phantoms.
Right. I'm just looking over. It's like I forgot that these guys are also here too.
Okay.
Shishko should have a full year after being hurt the past couple years. Turinsky.
There's a lot to be excited about.
I'm still waiting for Wade Allison to sign his contract, though. I know this year he's going to go back to college or whatever, but
Yeah.
that means next year he's got a short time, and then he might.
Also, here's someone to keep in mind for, the Flyers prospects. So, one, this is the most excitement I think I've ever seen out of goaltending prospects, and not only just the fact that they have more than one exciting goaltender prospect.
Yeah.
They also have Samuel Ersson.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him.
But yeah, Russ Cohen, he mentioned to me that there's a little doubt for him that Ersson's the Flyers' top goalie prospect. Obviously, Hart's not in that category anymore. I did ask him if he still considers Sandstrom a prospect. If so, Ersson above Sandstrom. He said yes to both. So that's kind of interesting, the fact that he's Ersson over.
But having said that,
yeah,
that doesn't bode well for me with Alex Lyon.
I agree.
He's obviously the older one, so if you keep him there for veteran reasons or whatever, just to kind of keep a goalie down in the Phantoms, that's it. But he's got 1 year left, and then he's a UFA, so I don't know what's going to happen with him. They also have Berube, too. He's got 1 year left. But he's 28, so I think he's just going to go to the Reading Royals.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, that's another guy I'm looking forward to is Wade Allison.
Yeah, Allison and
But I guess because most of these guys, goaltending-wise, were Hextall drafts, right?
Right.
So I think he was just looking at it like, okay, you've struggled at goaltending here for years. Years and years. You had a little bit there with, like, Steve Mason a little bit, but even then he had moments of falling off or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you stack yourself with good amount of goalies, I know sometimes it doesn't work, but you could technically have a goalie tandem at some point.
Oh, yeah. I think the goalie tandem is Carter Hart and Felix Sandstrom.
Sure.
If not, you have Samuel Ersson. If not, you have
Ustimenko.
Yeah. There's plenty of options for the Flyers here. It's great.
Yep.
Like I said, this is the best and most excitement they've had probably in years for goalie prospects.
Which makes sense because even after, I have to believe this might be, I might be wrong here, but this is probably the last year you might see, maybe not, but an Elliott or something like that be a backup.
Yeah, well,
only because I feel like Hart would be a year older, but you still have a younger guy coming up, so I don't know if they'd still want a veteran there.
I don't know. Maybe because I think it kind of depends on how the season goes because obviously Neuvirt's gone.
Yeah.
Elliott, I was a little surprised actually that they did resign him. I thought it was going to be Talbot, but yeah.
I think
we'll see. We'll see how the year goes.
Starting job in Calgary than he did here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Exactly. He felt like he could be a starter still.
Yeah.
So.
And Elliott kind of understands his role.
Yeah. Exactly. And not only that, but him and Hart have a good, solid relationship. Yeah. So.
And he can still, even though he's been hurt, he was.
When he played his best hockey, it was some of his best hockey ever.
Like even a year or so ago, when the Flyers actually made the playoffs, lost to the Penguins, he was doing really well until he was taken out of that one shootout loss, or where Neuvirth had to come in.
Yeah, I think it was against Arizona.
Yeah, but he was playing really well at that time.
Yeah, and again, I think the biggest problem for him the rest of the season, including
that was
the
another
playoffs,
problem too.
Yeah.
We were never able to do well with him because we would just run him until he got hurt.
Exactly.
You don't have to do that anymore, so playing him less. But we saw how that was with Neuvirth. And
right. But my thing is they can't afford to do the same thing with Carter Hart because everyone knows he's their future goalie.
Neuvirth was born with glass bone and paper screen.
Ah, yes. Of course. And every day he'd break his legs.
Yep.
And every afternoon he'd break his arms.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. So now,
But I think
yeah,
we'll move on a little bit here, but we kind of said it
yeah.
already. But the Sam Carchidi tweet, if you want to look at it, Broad Street Bowl, about an hour ago, tweeted out the NHL odds, which have at top, no surprise here, Tampa Bay, Boston, Toronto.
And this is the odds to win the East, by the way,
Yes.
per Bet Online.
Tampa Bay 4-1, Boston 7-1, Toronto 7-1. The bottoms, obviously, Columbus 25-1, Detroit 50-1, Ottawa 80-1.
Mm-hmm.
There are some surprises here that I find. One, Florida I think is too high.
Yeah, I
at
agree.
9-1. I know they got
Bobrovsky.
they did improve. They get Bobrovsky. I wouldn't be surprised if they made the playoffs, but I wouldn't say 9-1.
No, not even close.
Um,
I'd bump him down to at least 12-1.
yeah,
9-1 is generous. I love the addition of Bobrovsky,
I do too.
but it's just not enough. Something about that team, it's not enough. I don't. It doesn't. I mean, maybe this is the missing piece that they needed. I don't know. Like you said, Mike, they could make the playoffs and everything, but 9-1's extremely high.
I mean, it's just taking the East, but still.
No, I know, but it's still extremely high for me.
Yeah.
For the Florida Panthers to win the East. So
I'd say Pittsburgh and Washington might be about where they were. I
yeah,
might
they're
say
10-1 odds.
Pittsburgh could put a little lower just because
Right.
I don't think they're as great as they've been in the past couple
No,
years. New
they
Jersey,
really haven't.
Even though they added Simmons and Subban and have Hughes now, I think that's too high for them.
Yeah, that's
the
what I was
same for
thinking.
both.
So
I
the Islanders and
I think
Rangers are all
actually,
12-1.
I'll put it
By
this
the way.
I think Charlie O'Connor put it best with it.
Yeah.
If I can bring up his Twitter page.
So while you're doing that, I'll go over the rest of the odds. So far, like we said, Tampa 4-1, Boston and Toronto 7-1, Florida 9-1, Pittsburgh and Washington 10-1, the Devils, Islanders and Rangers all 12-1, Flyers 14-1, Carolina and Montreal 20-1, Buffalo and Columbus 25-1, Detroit 50-1, and Columbus 80-1. Sorry, Ottawa, not Columbus. But yeah.
Charlie tweeted out, would personally put Philadelphia, Carolina, and Montreal all over that group of 3 from New York metro area. I'm expecting a Islanders regression, and New Jersey, New York, and Rangers may have made flashy moves, but their rosters entering the offseason were very poor. Don't think either improved enough to truly contend. And I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because they did make improvements. Not so much the Islanders. They didn't really do much. Even though there was a possibility of them going for shitting Marner, but that never surfaced. But they're kind of running with the same team they did last year.
Yeah.
Obviously, you do have the Barry Trotz factor where it seems like everyone does well, especially goaltenders.
Yes.
But you did lose Leonard, but you got Varlamov back.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And the Rangers don't have much defense, and the centers aren't really there.
Because they still need to sign Jacob Trouba.
That too, which I'm surprised hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
And what I was saying with New Jersey before is they did sign Subban and Simmons. Subban is still a solid defenseman.
Well, trade, but yeah.
For Simmons, even though it's for a year, unfortunately, hockey's changing too much, and he's kind of the last of those power forwards.
Mm-hmm.
He's still a solid player to be around and everything, great leader and everything, but I don't think those guys are enough to really push him forward.
Right.
Hughes we have to kind of wait on just because he's young. And for me, I don't think these are enough moves for me to say Hall stays. But that's just me.
For you to what?
That Hall stays.
Eh.
I think it depends on how well they do this year, but I think that's going to be the determining factor of Hall and whether he stays in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And if he does leave, then that's a huge gap that they just lost.
What do you think of the Flyers at 14-1?
That's probably where I'd put them. 13,
Okay.
like 12 to 14.
Yeah. Do you agree that the Islanders, Devils, and Rangers should be ahead of the Flyers?
I'd honestly put them all at the same.
Yeah.
Maybe the Islanders a little lower.
Yeah.
I put Carolina higher than them, actually.
Yeah, they're at 20-1, which I don't agree with.
I don't agree with Montreal either, but
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I mean, they did
would
lose
you? Do you think Montreal should be higher or lower?
higher.
Okay.
I thought it should be around where the Flyers are, maybe
Right.
14. Because they did lose Shaw.
Yeah.
I expected that they could possibly get Aho, but that never happened.
Right.
But they're still pretty good.
Yeah.
And Price is still a great goalie. And
For sure.
even if he does get hurt, they signed Keith Kincaid, who's a solid backup.
That's right.
Shea Weber can still play really well.
Do you think Caulfield will make the team?
It wouldn't surprise me, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of those short guys that they say build up a little bit before coming here.
Kind of like Frost.
Yeah.
Then there's Buffalo at 25, and same thing with Columbus. Honestly,
I put Buffalo up at the 20.
yeah, I'd either keep Columbus where they are or bump them down.
Yeah, same.
Detroit,
I
I'd
agree.
bump up a little bit more than 50-1, and Ottawa's just spot on.
Yeah. Yeah, Detroit I'm not really sure of. Steve Yardman has a good amount to work with. That's a good amount
he
still to
does.
do before I can kind of move him up any higher.
That's fair. Alrighty, well, now let's get to Vegas.
Yes. The team, I believe, will take the West next year.
So far, Mike, in their two, and I'll have to bring up their standings.
They finished third in the Pacific last year. But with 93 points overall, league-wise, they were 16th. Obviously, a fall-off from the previous year
Yeah.
where they were 5th
Yeah.
with 109 points. But I feel like a lot of teams kind of dropped off from last year.
They
Definitely
definitely
not
did.
as many 100-point teams.
Right.
But I do expect, because this team is now, or they just keep getting better. Very
They
slowly.
really do, which is amazing, though.
Mark Stone was a great ad, and you're just going to have him now instead of an end of the year, you're going to have him for the full year. And I think just even Pacioretty and Stasny a year being here, it's just going to make him a little better.
Mm.
And obviously the Marshall line's still going to be just as great.
Yeah.
You did lose Belmar.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
Depth-wise, that
fourth
kinda
line-wise, he was pretty good in killing everything. They did sign Malcolm Subban, too.
Yeah.
And they lost someone else. Oh, that's what it was.
Mm. Because I'm trying to figure out who else they lost. But for Vegas, though, right now the only contract they really have to worry about, they got a couple guys in the minors who are RFAs, and they also have Nikita Gusev, who is in fact on the NHL roster. It says he's an RFA, 27 years old.
I forget.
They don't have
lost.
any money though, which is a problem in
Yes.
order to re-sign him. So it's like, well, what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Or what they really can do.
Right. I don't think they can do much. But it sounds like Vegas
But
for
I mean,
quite some time have been looking to possibly trade Gusev, which would be crazy because apparently he's been an absolute stud. And for teams looking to bolster up their depth, this is a guy to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Find what you're looking for.
No. I thought I had it, but it was a wrong guy. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't see them being as good as they were in their
Right.
inaugural season. But I still, because the West isn't great, and I think this team has the potential.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, you still have Fleury who can still do really well at 34. And Subban, who's a pretty reliable backup. I think this team, and the only thing that really kept them from going far is a controversial call that was really it that kept them from going far in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, I honestly would have said I think they could have taken St. Louis.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But that's the one thing that kept them from going far.
Yeah.
There's not really much you can do about that besides, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's...
and they have the team to do it.
Right. I really do think that Vegas, they're just a powerhouse right now.
Yeah.
Which is hard to believe.
It's hard to believe that the expansion team that is...
I'm thrilled for them. I really am. It's
Yeah.
nice seeing new teams in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. That was another thing, too, when with Vegas in the inaugural season is the whole shooting and everything. They kind of rallied around the city and everything, so they were a huge kind of uplift for them. Which, I mean, you play in Vegas, so it's going to happen regardless, but still, that helped a lot with that city and everything. And now everyone loves them. And everyone thought it was just going to be this city or this team with just people going to see just because you can gamble and put money on it. But they're seeing this. You're seeing real fans. And I'm going to say, in a couple years, I will say they are actual hockey fans.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, they had to learn the game and everything, but still.
It's amazing how much the city is really taking, you know, a liking of hockey. And not only that, but I think...
It's weird to think about because even with Seattle coming soon, I don't see them being as good as Vegas.
No.
And obviously, they have the same rules and everything, and they'll still have a guy or two that's still pretty good.
Yeah.
But I don't see them being as good as...
Right. I'll put it this
Vegas.
way. It's so no matter what, whether it's in life or you know, in sports or anything, tragedy helps bring people together.
Oh, it definitely does.
And I think that the one thing I keep thinking of, especially in its first...
Just think of after 9/11 in baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. The Vegas shootings. Yeah, the Vegas shootings.
Yeah.
Look what that team did for the city. They helped heal that whole city, and it was remarkable the fact that the fans and the team...
And that's another thing, too.
Bonded so well together, and it was such an amazing interaction.
I know in most sports, like, obviously the NFL has, like, the Walter Payton Award, and every person does some charitable thing. But I feel like in hockey, there's more guys, like, out in the community.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I'm sure there's
other leagues
where there's a bunch of people doing
but
that.
Not nearly as much as hockey.
Yeah.
Look what Roberto Luongo did.
Look what PK Subban did. Like, his... he donated $11 million to a hospital in Montreal.
Yeah, $11 million.
That's almost his whole contract.
Which athlete does that? You know,
Subban.
No shit. But no, I'm saying though, it's just hockey players. They just get it. Yeah. Not saying the other athletes don't, but hockey players.
Shit, we see it all the time with the Flyers and the
it's amazing.
Ed Snyder Foundation.
No, yeah, but
even Carter Hart.
I was just gonna mention him. Yeah. The other day, where was this? Was this the other day? Yeah. I think this is it. Yep. Carter Hart. What's it called? So, sorry, I was blanking for a second. So Flyers Senior Director of Public Relations, Zach Hill, mentioned to Carter Hart that a 20-year-old goalie by the name of Brandon Hull, he said, would about possibly signing a stick for him for his birthday, and Hart had a different idea. He said to Zach, why not just have him come to the rink and Skater come and hang out with us since I'm in town at the same time. It just worked out that he could come hang out and have some fun, and Yeah, it was just, it's amazing the fact that he's
Someone
only
who-
20
yeah,
years
he's
old.
20 years old, and he already knows too.
Yeah, and here he
I mean, obviously, there's like that. What's the word?
and
Thinking that most Canadians are kind of like
right.
helpful and everything and
And
generous.
Yeah, also the reason why it's such a big
Yeah.
story is because Brandon he had limb amputation after a traumatic injury, and it's just it's amazing just the fact
Shit,
that
not even there. Get to
Yeah.
mine after you finish your story. Sorry.
you're good. But it's just amazing what these athletes do, and I feel like not only is it the veterans, but after a while the rookies,
Mm-hmm.
after just spending time around the veterans, they understand what it's like to be that difference. Because every kid, at some point, when you're a hockey fan,
Mm-hmm.
you're in the stands, or just in general, wherever you are, you look up to certain people.
Yep.
And those who are fortunate enough to not only have been in the stands before, now are playing in the NHL or some major league. Now they have the chance to kind of pay it forward, be that role model, give back, and some of these guys understand so much. It's truly amazing.
But what I was gonna say, even think about that bus crash.
Yeah.
The other year.
Yeah, humble.
And even they're still doing stuff for them. The
I
one
know.
kid came to the Flyers.
Yeah.
The other day or during the season at one point. I think he traveled around, but
Yeah.
still.
It's remarkable.
Mhm.
But again, that kind of going back, drawing this all back
But
to
still,
Vegas.
you kind
though.
of I think you all get the point we're trying to make.
Right, yeah. But no, and there's countless of examples,
Yeah.
but it's just remarkable the fact that a city
Mm-hmm.
like Vegas, they helped with
Yeah.
the play of their hockey, and you might not think it's possible, but it is. With the play of their hockey, they helped heal the city.
Yeah. You feed off that.
And you really do. And the fact that they went all the way to the Cup Finals,
Mm-hmm.
each and every game from the regular season on until
Yeah.
the Stanley Cup Final, the energy was absurd in a good way, of course.
It's Vegas, you're gonna get that, but
Yeah,
still.
but they brought it to a whole new level. It's really something else. It really is.
But it's tough playing there.
Yeah, no. I would love to
Trust
go
me,
to Vegas one
if-
day just to see the energy there.
If
Just
Sean
to see what it'd be
Couturier
like.
scores another goal in Vegas, Vegas fans are gonna hate Sean Couturier.
Absolutely. Oh man, but yeah, no. Looking at Vegas as a whole, though.
They're gonna understand why the Penguins hate him.
Yeah, right. But no, I think Vegas. They're such an exciting young team. The fact
Yeah.
that they have Stone, Pacioretty, Stasny, Carlson, Marshall Solt,
Not
Tuck.
even just trading for Stone and for like half a year for a long-term deal for
Yeah,
him.
they locked him up.
Yeah.
It's remarkable. So, my only area of concern now with Vegas, while they're not as strong as a team as they could be, their defense.
Yeah, it's their defense and depth.
Yes, Nate Schmidt, Shea Theodore, Brady McNabb, Nick Holden, and John Merrill.
Yeah, it's not great.
Well, right
mean,
now
their best
they're only
defense-
showing 5 defensemen on their
Yeah.
NHL roster.
Their best defenseman, I think, is Shea Theodore. But
Yeah.
Nate Schmidt is... I don't like him.
Yeah. Plus, he's somehow the... Man, he's locked up to 2025, 2026. That's going to hurt him. But not only that, but...
Wasn't
I
he
think
the one that used steroids?
Yeah, I was going to say, he's like the first ever hockey player I've known
Yeah.
to get caught using steroids.
Yeah. Which I don't get it for hockey. I get it in the sense that... Oh!
What?
It just caught me off guard, but Tyler Goulburn is on Vegas now.
Oh, yeah. I completely forgot
Yeah.
about that.
But anyways, what I was saying was... was I get it in the sense I guess you can kind of make it so you can skate a little harder or whatever, but the only thing I ever really got for steroids for using it would be baseball, just 'cause
Yeah.
that's the one sport you actually...
Barry Bonds looking at
Yes.
you.
Yes. You kind of ruined the early 2000s for baseball, you know.
Yeah.
But still, outside of that, I mean, it's weird to see someone actually use steroids in hockey, but, you know, good for you, Nate Schmidt. And he's suspended for a good amount of last season, too. Oh, they just signed Nate Schmidt, too. That contract was just signed this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I have, like, if you think about the teams in the West, I don't know who else you can really say matches up, or I guess you could say, once you get, like, deeper in that way. But matchup-wise, compared to other teams in the West, you kind of have to give it to the Golden Knights.
Honestly, at this point, I will, because as soon as they got weaker as a team.
I still see them make the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But they're not as powerful because they lost Pavelski. They lost Nyquist. They lost Donskoy. They also lost. They lost those three guys. Who else did they lose?
Did he say Pavelski?
Yeah, Pavelski, Donskoy,
Gustav
Nyquist. And Thornton has not re-signed
That's another
yet.
thing too. I don't know if we talk about it. What do you think of the LeBlanc signing? The 1 year.
Oh yeah. That's an amazing bridge deal.
Yeah.
1 year, $1 million. How do you do that?
I don't know.
I am shocked. But I'll put it this way: next year, I think LeBlanc is that's just remarkable, because I heard that apparently he was going to take a pay cut, and it makes sense now after looking at this deal, because look at all they had to do. But I think next year he's going to get at least 4 to 6 year deal, because he's earned every penny of that deal.
Yeah.
And if you think I'm wrong, I will gladly fight you on that one. Kevin LeBlanc was so underrated last year, and just as a player in general.
I think for him, or for the Sharks, they didn't really have the cap to sign him, so maybe
Exactly.
they're thinking next year they'll have more cap to be able to spend on him. But yeah, I don't. Even though Calgary took the West last year, I think they're not going to be as good as this past year.
I don't even know how they took the West last year, honestly.
I don't know. Nashville, they did add Duchesne. I think Winnipeg will have a rebound year, but they're still not as.
Yeesh.
It's still lost Trouba, and Hayes.
Yeah.
Even though it was only for half a year, but still.
Thanks, Hazy.
But yeah, that's.
But no, honestly, I think this is Vegas's not only their division, but I think it's their conference to win.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many teams that are gonna be out there to stop them.
No.
But I think
only
for
thing
Vegas,
that stopped them was the league. That's what stopped them.
Yeah, fair enough.
Or officiating, I should say, not really the league.
But
because then they'll get the conspiracy theories out there.
I'll put it this way: Vegas, they have depth on offense. Like they're top. They're all 4 lines. They're strong. They have speed, skill, and depth. That's what it takes to win championships. One of the very few things that's stopping them is their defense. Really, like their best defenseman is probably Brady McNabb.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying he's bad, but like, dude. Besides, look at his contract: $2.5 million.
It's pretty much
until 2020, 2023. That's
same
a steal.
It's the same as Schmaltz, right? Yeah. No, McNabb. Sorry, I thought we were talking about Theodore.
No.
Sorry. But yeah, he is a solid defenseman.
And then Shea Theodore, he's only 23. He's locked up for a long-term deal.
The same amount as lengthwise as
Schmidt. Yeah, but.
And they got a backup in Subban.
Yeah, this team is an exciting team for sure. I don't. We'll see how everything pans out.
Mm-hmm.
Also, something that apparently has been a long time rumor. Sounds like Vegas could get a 3rd jersey this year.
Yeah, I did see that.
Which I would love. So obviously looking at their jerseys now, what type of jersey would you want to make their alternate jersey? Like, what color jersey would you want? Because you have like the obviously every team has their away white jerseys, but for Vegas they have like it's an interesting like
it's dark gray.
It's like a dark gray color with some yellow or goldish and red.
I'd say it's probably gonna be black.
But that's what I was thinking, honestly.
It seems like most teams kind of go for that black.
Right.
Jersey.
But no, I'm interested in
I could see
seeing
him going gold, but I don't really see
that would be kind of cool, honestly.
Yeah, but I think it's more likely that it's black jersey, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the same as the gray, just black instead of gray.
Mm-hmm.
or maybe they do the Flyers and changed the a couple years ago where their third was the white ones with the orange on shoulders. Maybe they just change up the white ones a little bit because they do like the white ones.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. But it will be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we couldn't really find the odds for the West.
No.
So
I'm sure they'll be released within the next few days. And,
Yeah,
you know, once they are released, we will,
Yeah,
of course,
or maybe they'll
bring them up.
be better at researching these stuff than we are.
Yeah, right.
And find it. But yeah, if I had to guess, I have to think Vegas is got to be near the top there.
And honestly, I could see Dallas being up there.
Yeah. Dallas, Colorado, Nashville.
Colorado's definitely
Vegas.
up there for sure.
Those are the teams I would say
Yeah.
is battling there. But I think this is where we're going to end it.
Yep.
And
And up next, where will we go, Mike?
I think we should go with the division winners last year in the West.
Calgary. All right. Johnny Hockey, we're coming for you.
Yep.